Time Spiral Remastered has concluded previews, and we've got a lot more cards to talk about. We've got green cards, gold cards, artifacts, and lands to talk about and let you know, is it worth it?
Whether you are a master or a remaster, you're going to want to see these spoilers. The video starts right now.
Special thanks to our Patreon supporters who power our channel. Check out our Patreon for monthly giveaways, exclusive content, and even a starring role in our fan fight series. Link in the description below.
Hello and welcome to The Day.
Thank you for spending your time with us.
I'm Jake.
I'm Joel. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel Are Magic. We're going to go through Time Spiral, the remaining cards, and tell you, is it worth it? But before we do, if you would, go down there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out.
It's the best way to support the channel with just the click of a button. Head on over to Patreon if you're already a fan of Jake and Joel. Let's go ahead and talk about these cards, and let's head to Scryfall.
Absolutely. So, Jake, we have covered now almost every color in the set. We have got artifacts, gold cards, green cards, and lands left. Viewer, if you're watching this and you want to put together a complete picture of Time Spiral, is it worth it? Go and check out the first two videos in this 3-video set where we have broken everything down. As you can see here, Scryfall is a huge resource for us. Big thanks to Scryfall for helping us through every preview season.
That's right.
Jake, we got a couple good cards here to talk about tonight.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cards on this list, and I do encourage you to head on over here, check out all the cards, because we are not going to cover all of these spoilers today, just the absolute highlights. And there's one thing that I do want you to know that we definitely want to get across is these old border foils that pop up have a huge multiplier. It doesn't really matter what the card is. The pre-sales are out the roof, so I hope you're not spending too much on these, because once this set is opened, there's going to be a big race to the bottom on a lot of these cards. And even these old border foils, I do think, are going to be more affordable than they are now. But just something to keep in mind as we talk about a lot of really expensive cards today. Some old border cards and some in the new frame, and there are a lot of very solid reprints.
Karavek's above me. We called Karavek. We're not talking about it in this video, though, because we got cooler stuff to talk about. Let's head over and look at the cards we've pulled.
A Chroma's Memorial $30 card, and there's going to be a correction on this. Scarcity is a theme with Time Spiral Remastered. There are some scarce cards that are getting reprinted. We're talking about multiples of them in this video. Expect a correction on this card, but it's a legendary artifact that gives your creatures pretty much everything. I can't read that far. I'm not allowed to read.
Cloud Key is also one that we covered. Not a huge heavy hitter. This is one that was a completely scarcity driven price. Jake, how much was this card?
35 is what it was, and the pre-sale is at 13. So a big correction on a standard frame rare. Again, old border and standard frame rares. Make sure with this product you're well versed on the difference.
Yep, absolutely. Gauntlet of Power was a cool one to see. Upshifted to Mythic here. I do know that this is a pretty heavily played EDH artifact. Whenever basic lands are tapped for mana of the chosen color, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of that color. Seems like a pretty good effect for 5 mana, Jake.
Yeah, that's right. And this card, again, $23. The invention of it, $74. We can expect a correction on this price as well. Although Mythic isn't going to make a huge splash, it really depends on how much of this product is opened and what kind of effect that's going to be on the secondary market. Next up, we got Vanquisher's Banner, 5 cost for a tribal staple. The big difference with this card that made its debut in Ixalan is that it's got that old border treatment. So the foil of this is going to have a huge multiplier. It's hard to tell right now. I would imagine anywhere from like 50 to 60. And then once the set's far out of print, maybe even $80. But this is a $10 card. But yeah, great tribal staple.
Right. There's a lot of this set that the value is going to be in these most pimp versions, and the most pimp versions that you're going to be pulling from this set are these old border foils. I feel like we have beat the hell out of this dead horse about old border foils having a huge multiplier. However, that is where some of the value of this set is going to lie. We've got some great reprints. We're going to go over a few more here in this video, and an acquirable copy of this card is only $10. So it's not like this is the only copy that you can possibly get, but there's going to be a premium on these old border foils. If I can say it again.
Pimp factor, baby.
Right. And Vanquisher's Banner being a tribal staple, fitting into any tribe, saying draw a card on it. This is one of the ones when we saw it, we were just like, oh yeah, that's going to have some value. Oh my God, it's Tarmogoyf.
Yeah, it's Tarmogoyf, and it's the old art Tarmogoyf with a huge miss on the frame.
Yeah.
They didn't want to time shift the frame, but they did bring back this old art from Future Sight on this card that has kind of fallen out of the limelight in recent history just because of the lack of paper magic support.
Right. It's a mythic, like you said, old frame, not there, but here's one that the old frame is there, and they used the newest piece of art for this, and that's Eternal Witness, EDH staple. Jake, do you think that the foil old border of this is going to be expensive?
Yeah, I mean, on a card like this, Eternal Witness, and it's so funny how you compare up that new art with that old frame, and it really does, like, if I saw this card back in the day, I would be like, yeah, that's totally the OG.
I'm looking at this card.
Witness.
This card slaps so hard. Definitely one of the old border ones that I want in an EDH staple. It just seems like you said, that old border matching up with that new art just connects so heavily and so beautifully.
And it's only a $5 card. So $4 or $5, but yes, in that multiplier, who knows, $30, $40?
Yeah, especially based on the rarity of these old borders. If what we've heard is true, we're not going to see many of them, and we know it's going to be good. Looking at Nature's Claim, we've got a CEDH staple here. It's just a common, but old border foils of this, I think, are really going to hold a premium.
Yeah, that's right. And a card that's incredibly mana efficient like this, yes, in that old frame again. Only $1 card here, but yes, in that premium, we can't really stress that enough. People are going to be like, God, stop talking about it. But yes, it is a card that is easily acquirable in a multitude of other sets and reprints, but right here, you're going to get it in this pimp version. If that's what you're looking for, if that's the aesthetic of your deck, then here it is. It exists in Time Spiral.
Yep.
Remastered.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the biggest, worst kept secret, best, easiest to hit call, worst odds at the Vegas betting line.
Sure.
Because everybody knew this was going to be in it. Sliver Legion, $105 card, Sliver Mythic, all 5 colors printed. I've covered it in EDH videos. We talked about this in our reprint targets video for Time Spiral, and sure enough, we have been delivered. Jake, where do you think the price on this one settles out if you had to guess?
I mean, during like mass openings of this product, like when it first hits the masses, if you're savvy and you're smart, I think you'll probably be able to snag one for like $40-50.
Yeah,
it might even go lower. After, Slivers is a very popular tribe, and it's a very overpowered tribe. People that are looking for like raw power and just natural synergy, Slivers has a ton of it. They all just proc off each other. It's beautiful. I think a lot of people who haven't had access to this card that play Slivers or maybe proxying this are going to jump at the opportunity to get it. And so I would say if it's the kind of card where you don't have it, you want a playable copy, make sure you're hunting eBay, hunting TCG Player like a vulture. Look for all of the cheapest prices as these cards are, again, being mass opened. But yeah, I think it probably settles. It's 105, but because of scarcity, I think it's going down quick. And a regular copy, non-foil copy, I think you'll probably be able to find maybe even as low as 35 to 40. We'll see.
Yeah, that would be a good target. Here's an old border frame that we think is going to be expensive because of old border foils. Abrupt Decay.
Beautiful card. Amazing ability. Can't be countered is great. 3 or less is really good coverage, especially in a format like CEDH that really values the low to the ground converted mana cost. This is one of those spells that you want to have in your deck if you're trying to disrupt crazy combos. It hits a lot of the important stuff as it is non-land permanent. So really good coverage. Really great card. Abrupt Decay $6, but again, in that treatment, who knows?
Multiplier is going to be high. We've got yet another reprint of Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, All of our lands become swamps. I think this is one that we talked about in our predictions video, Jake.
Yes,
wanted to include it here. Not time shifted, but still a high value reprint. What, this one's in the 30s?
Yeah, so Urborg around $30, and yeah, really good for exsanguinate effects, anything that you're trying to make everything a swamp so that you can get the most out of that. It's one of those staple cards that really attracts a lot of players that are looking for, again, those kind of drain type effects and getting the most out of black mana. Flagstones of True Care, last printed in Ultimate Masters, and when it first came out in Ultimate Masters, it got down to $1, and it has crept up very consistently and is now around 12 to 15. Expect a big correction after this.
I think that the low-key land slot in this set is actually pretty good. We've got cards like Flagstones of Trocaire. We've got cards like Gemstone Caverns upshifted to Mythic.
Yes.
But this is just one that, due to scarcity, but also having the land be really well played and really playable card, was just creeping up in price, and a reprint like this is going to help correct that.
55 pre-sales are going for 40. Expect it to go lower. Yeah, this is the kind of thing where I don't think I need multiples of these. I would want one of these for my collection, and then I'm good. I don't have this card. This set actually does have a lot of stuff that I don't have that I do want for the collection
because of scarcity.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
that's
and
it.
So a lot of these reprints are really helping with that. We've also had a lot of upshifts in rarity, and Vesuva is the same. Upshifted to Mythic, but enters the battlefield tapped as a copy of any land on the battlefield. You're going to see a rise in this card on EDH. In EDH Rec statistics, people are going to suddenly be playing way more Vesuva.
Yeah, $38 card, Mythic, so hard to tell what kind of correction the price is going to have, but there will be some sort of correction. Somebody who's playing the Gaia's Cradle, you could do the kind of thing where you're like, just waiting for my friend to play Gaia's Cradle. That way I can play my Vesuva budget Gaia's Cradle off of theirs. So yeah, it's a very, very strong, very good card. And yeah, I'm happy to see it gets a reprint.
Yep, absolutely. Look out for a video incoming, how to play a cheap Gaia's Cradle, and it's just play Vesuva. Swarm,
that's right.
Swarm Yard, we just saw in a secret layer, and I wanted to include this. I think this card's only between 10 and $15, but in our secret layer review of the Squirrel Layer, we talked about how this land was scarcity based, and Jake talked about how he thought that we would probably see a reprint of it within the next year or two after we discussed Swarm Yard being printed in that secret layer.
I thought maybe in a Commander product, but
yeah. Well, here it is sitting here 2 months into the year, 3 months into the year. And
yeah,
we have
so
got
$20. Yeah, $20 card, scarcity play again, printed like you said in Secret Lair, but it has a cool squirrel theme, so that's the most expensive copy. But before it was printed in squirrels, it was another scarce card. I think it had only had one printing. And, Wizards of the Coast, they try to get away from Regenerate and those type effects, so we probably won't see Regenerate popping up much in any standard stuff.
Right.
But when it's a throwback like this, it's a really great opportunity to do something like that, satiate a little bit of that scarcity that players are looking for. It's a good money card. It's a nice solid rare. Thank God it's not a mythic. It's a nice solid rare in the set. So it's a really good card to pull. And yeah, if you don't have one, now is going to be a great time. Pick up that foil copy. I was kind of upset I didn't pick up Secret Lair Squirrels, and now I'll be able to pick up the Swarm Yard. So
yeah.
It's
yeah,
nice.
Absolutely. Wanted to include one more Old Border card just because the art for this one and the effect, everything about this card just seems to fit from an artistic standpoint. Mm-hmm. The Old Border really matches the art, and just this is going to be a very desirable card for EDH players. The Old Border foil is obviously going to have a ridiculous multiplier. We can't say that enough. But I would say Bojuka Bog being such a staple EDH card, that this is going to be one of the chase Old Borders, even though it's a really cheap card. I mean,
it's only $1,
right?
If that, yeah,
exactly. You can pick it up very, very simply. But wanted to include that one, and we want to wrap out here with Dryad Arbor. We've got a little bit of a controversial card from the past, Forest Creature. It is a forest. It is also a 1/1, and they have graced us with a reprint here in TSR.
Yeah, that's right. And it doesn't have just a big forest symbol right in the middle. It actually looks like a non-basic land, which is great. So, yeah, a good reprint as well. And Dryad Arbor, what did we say the price was on this? Around 15-ish, something like
10
that?
to $15.
Do your due diligence. Make sure you double check prices. And if don't take our prices as the bottom line, make sure that you check around. Especially as the set comes out, a lot of the prices on these cards are going to be changing. You're going to have people right now after spoilers that are trying to sell the cards before the masses start to list them like crazy. So you're going to have people that are already undercutting prices just to sell stuff off, buy it later at a cheaper price. That's definitely a viable strategy with this kind of stuff. But as far as is it worth it, Time Spiral Remastered, yeah, we've got a pretty cool set of cards here, and we didn't even talk about all of the best stuff. I mean, we talked about the best stuff that we could find, but there's definitely more other gems in there that we didn't cover as thoroughly as this video.
Yeah, we didn't cover every $5 bill that this set includes, and this set includes a lot of them. And those $5 bills really start to add up to lean into the question, is it worth it? Jake, I have to agree with you. I think that right now, as a Magic community, we've got a little bit of product fatigue going on. I think I think we are coming off the new year. We're a little bit low right now. We just had Kaldheim. We went immediately into a new preview season, coupled with the announcement that Lord of the Rings and Warhammer were coming, and in addition, other IPs crossing over. We've just been absolutely bombarded with products and with announcements. And so I think that hype is a little lower for this set than I would normally expect. However, Jake and I have found, as we've picked through this, that hype is not, the lack of hype is not really founded. This set is really good. It's surprisingly good to me as far as value, as far as good, solid reprints. And we'll be playing some MTGO drafts of it here on the channel. This is a set, really high-powered set that Jake and I are looking forward to drafting for you. That's our take on Time Spiral Remastered. We're going to do one more video in our Time Spiral Remastered series to talk about our top commander reprints in here. But as far as is it worth it, these last 3 videos, Jake, I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, the box prices, as they continue to go up, it becomes less worth it. But if the box prices stay at a reasonable price, then yeah, I would say that it is. Again, you really have to look at stuff like that land slot. The land slot looks pretty good in this set. We didn't get one of those things like fetch lands or shock lands or whatever kind of like dual land that people are looking for. I think we got something that comes in tapped, or it's the storage lands. I'm not super high on those. I think I'll be picking up a box, but my big thing is that I'm going to be sniping singles when they hit the bottom. That's going to be the main play here, and that's where you're going to be able to really take that budget and get the most out of it.
Look out for some future box openings we've got on the channel. We will be doing Foil Quest Time Spiral Remastered. We got 2 nights of streams planned for you on that. Got some patrons sponsoring some boxes. It's going to be a hell of a time. See if we can chase some old border foils, if we haven't said that enough in this video series. Other than that, Jake, I'm tapped out.
Until next time, we will see you on the flippity.